If you guys are looking for any cheap and reliable coins, check out MMOPO.com. Use the code PINGU at checkout to get 8% off. You guys, welcome to episode number 21 of the Derby Career Mode Live. And to start off this episode, we're currently in the playoff semi-final against Brentford. We have got 3 games in this episode. That's if we win the first 2. So we'll have to wait and see if we can get to the Wembley final. Away from home, I'd be happy to take like a 1-1 or maybe a 1-0 win just back to Pride Park, and then should be able to win at home quite convincingly. So yeah, let's just head over to the messages, because in between the 2 episodes, got a couple of messages. One is that Mike Twerk has been sold, and we do have a transfer offer here for Dwayne Holmes. In between the 2 episodes, I was just doing a bit of training just to get all those A grades. Did a lot of penalty practice as well, because obviously that might be needed in the playoff final, and maybe even the semis. It's happened before, but I do like that the away goal rule doesn't count on the playoffs, because I don't know, the away goal rule is a little bit silly in my opinion. So because Dwayne Holmes isn't exactly the most important player for us, I think selling him for 5.7 million makes a lot of sense, and I'm not too sure if this money transfers over to the next season, or you just get a default this is the amount of money, but I guess we just sell him whenever, and hopefully the game works it out. So we'll go down to 5.5, and they're sticking at 5 million. If I take out the sell-on clause, because that's not really that important to me, go add an extra $500,000, and hopefully there we go, 5.5 million. So I think that's a really good amount of money for a player that hasn't exactly played too much this season. Been useful here and there, but you know, I think we've got a number of players already in that position. So we do have a bit of development here to Whittaker, and I think converting him to a striker just means we can potentially use him a little bit more. I'll probably try and get that pace up a bit, because at 74 it's not exactly phenomenal. And I'm going to leave Goswak on that development for the minute, because I might not be tempted to convert him to a cam, because it's not exactly required. So into our first playoff game against Brentford. It is away at their stadium. It should be their new stadium, but obviously they don't have the new stadium on the game. I think in terms of the formation, I think I'm going to stick to this 4-3-3. Defensively, it's a little bit better. I'm not too sure who to go for at left back though. Whether I should go for Shinnie, just because he's a little bit more better defensively. But obviously Buchanan's an out-and-out left back. But I think just because of that extra bit of quality Shinnie provides, it makes a bit of sense. Hopefully with the back 4 we don't concede too many away from home, and then at home we can do a little bit better. But I'm almost tempted to go for a 3-5-2, just because we've been playing it all season long, and it makes more sense in terms of that's what we're used to. Doesn't even get the 2 strikers up front. I might be tempted to put Marriott in for this kind of game. Maybe just bring him off the bench. He's got slightly better fitness than I do, so we'll go for him. And I think we'll go for the 3-5-2, just because he gets a little bit more players involved. And obviously fullback wise, we're not the strongest in the world. Here's the Brentford team for today's game. They've got a 4-3-3, Tony, Benrahma and Mbuemo up top. Very good midfield of Norgard, Josh Da Silva and Velacidis in the middle. Then Rico Henry and Delsgaard at fullback. David Rowe in goal, Pinnock and Pontus Jansson, the very famous Leeds defender, crying in those semi-finals. Hopefully that can happen in, well, it would be 3 years in a row now, because they did lose the playoffs last year as well in the final against Fulham. And it's kind of crazy that how, I don't know, like they've lost both Watkins and Benrahma now for I think about 60 million, so they've got a lot of money, but obviously not as strong as they once were. Ball to Bird, now into Marriott. Can he go around the final defender? Yes he can. Can he get the finish? He can indeed, and that's why you play Jack Marriott in these kind of big games. He can get the goals, and really good goal to kick off the game in the first pretty much 5 minutes, and getting I say an away goal, but it means obviously if we draw this game or something like at home, we should be all good. Yeah, as long as we don't lose this first game too much, that's the main objective of this game. Got a bit of run here from Jason Knight. Got a bit of space to run into. Out wide here to Joswak. I wanted that way earlier, but he's offside now. See, that would have been an easy goal if if that ball went out there straight away, but for some reason it went to Marriott first. Chance in the box, but good save from Ben Foster, and that's why we brought him in, to make those big saves in these particular games in particular. Like, next season we might sign a new goalkeeper that's a bit younger, maybe not quite as good as Foster, but there'll be a point where we need to make a crossover between the two. So we'll have to wait and see. Chance here for Ida, if I can slip him in. Can he make it 2-0? Yes, he can. There we go. Adam Ida with the goal straight off the bench, and puts us in a really great position for this second game. We did bring on Harry Wilson on that right hand side. Again, I'm not 100% convinced he's worth 16 million. I might look to get him on loan again. That's one thing we can look at, of course, but other than that, I doubt we're going to be paying the permanent fee for him. But there's Adam Ida's first goal of the playoffs, and yeah, it's interesting to see that he has actually grown further than Liam Delap has in quite a short period of time. Chance here for Marriott to get a ball into the middle. I might just run it in myself, actually. Bit of a gap of players here, but can simply find the back of the net. He's hit the post. I don't know how. He's not in the best of sharpness because he's not played too much since coming back from his injury, but can he make it? He's hit the post again. I thought we were going to make it 3-0. Jesus, this game. Now we go full time against Brentford. We have got a 2-0 lead going into the home game, and no team, other than one in particular, hasn't blown a... as you can see, the possession for Brentford is ridiculous, but I think the 3-5-2 going forwards is just so strong. As you can see as well, Bournemouth are currently leading in that other game, but obviously Forest, with the home advantage in the second game, may overturn that. And there we go, we have sold Dwayne Holmes for 5.5 million. Again, I'm not too sure if this money does add to next season or it's just for this season. Let me know in the comments, but I think what I'll probably do is just end up buying another scout with whatever remaining money we do have. And in between the two episodes, I also extended quite a few contracts. Basically what I did was, if you look on the right hand side, you can see whether they're happy with the contract or not. So the majority are. Marriott's one that I'm not too sure if we're going to extend. Obviously he did really well this season, but it's still got a couple of years on that contract. But if I'd look at the financial side of things, if I show you the lengths of the contracts, if we go all the way down to the bottom, as you can see, we've got Jason Knight on a 6-year contract, Bird on a 5, Ida on a 5, and as they grow in ratings, you need to match that. So it's quite an interesting one. Obviously Duncan as well, grown quite a bit in 5 ratings, so he's gone from 1,000 a week wage to 4,000. Joswak's gone up to 22,000, but I think for a 78 rated player, that's peanuts really. So yeah, let's go into this second game at home against Brentford. A couple of contracts expiring there, but I'm not too bothered. Again, I don't know why Ravas is going out to the Chinese Super League. Why are you messaging me oh, can I play the next game? Also, in between the two episodes, I did update the youth academy. We've basically signed up a few more Bulgarians and Argentinians, predominantly wingers, and I think wingers are probably the easiest to get into the team, if anything. But even Simula, who's on the bench, isn't featuring too much because we just have so many players at the club at the minute, and we're going to have to sell quite a few at the end of the season, going into the next one. So I think again we'll go for the 3-5-2. It worked very well in that last game, so there's no reason why we shouldn't. And yeah, it looks like everyone is fully fit for this game. I'm thinking of going for Marriott again from the start, although he is a little bit low. Yeah, I think we'll bring Marriott off the bench just because he is a bit low on fitness at 89. But other than that, I think Bird will be alright on 87 in the middle. I'm hoping there's a bit of a gap between this game and the final, because at the minute we're 2-0 up, and I very much doubt we'll bring on Burn on the bench just for a bit of defensive cover towards the end. Here we are then at Pride Park against Brentford. It's the biggest game of the season. If we win this, we go to Wembley, and we do get the chance to go to the Premier League. So they have made a change from the first game. It is Gonos coming in for Benrahma, which is quite interesting. One of their better players technically shouldn't be there, so it makes it a little bit more authentic. But yeah, pretty much the same lineup. We've just gone for Ida in for Jack Marriott. I was almost tempted to bring in Rooney at cam and then push Lawrence up front, but we've gone for this one, and I think it's good enough. Obviously, Ida got the goal in the previous game, so if we can replicate that, then it's an easy game. There we go, there's half-time against Brentford. It's been a pretty dull first half. I don't know if I'll get any highlights out of it, but I've been playing quite passive anyway. I think it's 2-2 in that Forest game now on aggregate. Yeah, if you look at the match facts, there's probably, you know, 1, maybe 2 shots, but nothing too major. Bird into Ida, now into the lap in the box with the shot into the top right hand corner, and there's 3-0 on aggregate, and that should be the game pretty much wrapped up. A really good finish from Liam Delap, and I don't think any keeper in the world is going to save that, to be honest. I was quite surprised it went in when I did take the shot, but yeah, Joswiak just cut inside, Bird into Ida, then first time shot actually, and yeah, I don't think anyone's saving those top right hand corner goals. Joswiak into Sibley, can he go on through on goal and hopefully make it 4-0 on aggregate? Yes, he can, and that is game, set and match, going to Wembley. And you know, it's a bit of a shame that we have got so many attacking midfielders, because you know, I've not really played too much with Sibley, especially since Wilson coming into the team, but I think I much prefer Sibley, A, because we own him, and B, you know, he's one of our own. He's a Derby lad, supports the club, and yeah, hopefully we can get him to full fitness and back into the starting 11 soon. Cross to Josh De Silva, and there's 4-1. I don't bother really commentating that goal just because I know the game's over now, and we're going to Wembley. Obviously it's a consolation goal for Brentford, but I might say that's their first shot on target. I don't remember any others, and there we go. There's full time. We are going to Wembley, and it'll be interesting to see if we're playing Forest or Bournemouth. Obviously we struggled a lot against Bournemouth quite recently, and obviously it would be much nicer to play Forest just because it's a East Midlands derby, but as you can see, there wasn't too much to report in the game in terms of chances, you know, very little. And there we go, we do get the dream final. It is against Nottingham Forest. I do actually remember playing against Forest in a playoff final in a previous career mode. It might have been, I don't think it was like, it might have been last year's, but it's definitely within the last couple of FIFAs, because I do remember it quite recently. But Jordan Ibe has gone to an inverted winger, which means he grows by +1 rating, I think, to a 77. Do have a couple of monthly scout reports here. Most of these I'm going to probably reject because they're just, I didn't even want to sign him. Oh well, we'll just release him anyway. But what I'll basically do is just look at the potential, and if it's like 70 to 90, then I'll sign him. If not, get rid of him, because they're just never going to be useful to me. So yeah, there's a few more players into the youth academy. But yeah, let's go into this final against Nottingham Forest. One thing I do need to check actually before we do go into the finals, what the results were against Forest. I think we won 3-1 away against them, and I think the previous game was probably a loss, I think, against Forest quite early on in the season. Yeah, it was a 4-2 loss, so I'd say because of that more recent result, I'm confident in this game, but anything can happen in football, of course, so we're going to have to be on our A game if we're going to win this game. I think I will put Marriott in from the start, just because he is a little bit better than Adam Ida, of course, in terms of finishing, but obviously Ida off the bench as a target man can be useful. Obviously this is the last chance to play a derby game for quite a few of these players actually. I think we've got Curtis Davis, Hector Ingram, Evans, and Joseph Soon's going, Tuarik's going, and Holmes is going, so we have actually quite heavily thinned the squad. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think we've got 6 players going, so that's a good amount. But obviously we do have 3 players coming in. So yeah, let's go into this game. As you can see, Joswiak has grown to a 79, which is good to see as well. Here we are then for the game at Wembley Stadium. It is a wonderful occasion. It's kind of funny how they literally just cut the stadium in half, like half of it's black and white and the other half's red. It's just literally like, yeah, we'll just exactly cut it in half. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what this Forest lineup is. It looks like Michael Dawson at the back, which Jack Marriott should do well against. I'm actually quite happy that we're not playing Bournemouth, because I didn't really fancy us when, you know, we got absolutely thrashed 3-0 against them. So yeah, it is at Wembley, and it's a wonderful stadium. Obviously, we might not be back here again until, you know, like season 3 or 4 when we get to like an FA Cup final maybe. So it's gonna be a while. So yeah, it's a bit of chance to get a bit of silverware. Obviously, the playoff final trophy. We did win the Brian Clough Trophy in March, so we can get 2 trophies in one. Well, we retained the trophy, but looking at their team, they've got Bryce Samba in goal, Darrakwa and Blackett at fullback. Then Mso, never heard of him. I think he's a new signing. Dawson, Yates, Barashu and Sami Amiobi, Joe Lolly, Luke Freeman and De Costa up front, who's actually not at Forest. No Graben up front, which I'm quite happy with, but it's not the strongest of Forest team, so I'm actually quite confident. Inside here to Jason Knight, into Lawrence, a lot of space for Jordan Knight. Can he get a first time shot off? Yes he can, and that is the absolute dream start, and a Forest player just clatters themselves against the post, and that is a very big goal. Like, getting the first goal in these games is very, very important, and to get it in the first 10 minutes, you know, this 3-5-2 just shows how, you know, I being there is just the option that you just wouldn't have if we played like the 4-3-3, or a different 4. It might work in a 4-3-3, but really good strike, and no chance for Samba. And I think I might just watch that again just to see Blackett just crash into the post, just for a bit of comedic gold. Did he hit the post? Alright, Tambiobi crossed into the middle. Bielik's not quite dealt with it. He's holding it off nicely. I can't hear the audio for like 2 seconds, so basically I didn't know if that was a penalty or not, and it is. When he did that, I was like, oh, I've just not done that. Just, I don't know. Got a penalty here for De Costa. Can we save it with Foster? Yes, we can. Whoa, that's why you get Ben Foster in goal, because he's a top-class keeper, and wasn't the world's best penalty. It was a very easy height save, and yeah, it's weird that they're not playing Graben up front. Chance in the back post. Clark deals with it. Good interception there from Kamal Joswiak. Can he run through this Forest defence? It is against Michael Dawson, who's got about 30 pace, so if I can go around him, then it should be an easy goal. Marriott with the layoff, and it's wide of the post. Now with the ball here on the edge. Trying to get it inside to Jason Knight with the goal to make it 2-0 in the 35th minute, and that is exactly what you want in the first half. 2-0 lead, and you know, Jason Knight, a wonderful player this season. Gave him a new contract as well. I think he's here for like 6 years now, so he's going nowhere. But yeah, nice play from Marriott, and a great run from Jason Knight to run into the gap, and that's the only thing with playing a different formation, is trying to get literally every single player in, and I'm doing my best at the minute, but yeah, 2-0 up at Wembley, really good position. And there's half time at Wembley. We're currently 2-0 up. Could have very easily been 1-1 if Forest did convert their penalty, but a great save from Ben Foster to save the day. We did almost get that early chance with Liam Delap, which just was the side net, of course. Yeah, it's been pretty much most of us, but obviously the AI in the last like 30 minutes of the game almost like switch on to ultimate difficulty. It's like we're playing at world class or legendary at the minute, and then the last like half an hour, that's when it really gets difficult. Well, like to Joswiak is a great opportunity to make it 3-0. He has got a really good right foot, and does make it 3-0. I thought he was going to take it with his left foot, but he took it right-footed. And yeah, as the commentator says, there's no real way back for Forest now, and won't be playing them for a good year. Obviously, the 2 goals from Joswiak and I, but quite similar in terms of, you know, the players being out wide, and that's what I want to continue, because obviously we've got Damari Gray coming into those winger options. So I think a 4-3-3 is probably what we need to play. It's just what kind of variation of 4-3-3. Chance to get 4-0 here with Tom Lawrence, but unfortunately he did take it weak-footed, and I think we'll make a few changes now. The game's pretty much wrapped up now. It's just a matter of basically seeing this game out. I don't know if I want to. I think I'll get Sibley on the pitch, but I don't know who for, because I want Lawrence in there, but at the same time it's difficult to get all the players involved. Rooney with the ball here out to Sibley. Would be nice to get Rooney a Wembley goal. Burn wins it. Now into Knight, now into Rooney, and then to the back of the net, and there's 4-0. And Wayne Rooney with the goal to get a nice goal at Wembley. Of course, it's, you know, the game's won at this point. We're promoted, and it's just the icing on the cake. So I don't know what we'll do with Rooney next season. Obviously, he's only got 1 or 2 more seasons until he retires anyway. So I might just keep him until then. And yeah, it's weird because I've never lost a playoff final on any of these FIFA career modes. I've never lost a playoff semi. Like when I get into the playoffs, it's like the game, I don't know, it just makes them too easy. I don't know why, but I don't know if it's because I know it's the playoffs and I have to be on my A game, but I've never struggled in the playoffs, and as you can see in this game, maybe could have gone a bit differently if Forest did make it 1-1 with that penalty, but obviously that's in the past now, and we're going into the Premier League. As you can see, it's very easy now to get into the back, get through this back line of Forest. On to Bielik, but has blown the full-time whistle, and there we go, we have won the playoff final, and we are going to the Premier League. Very easy game, other than the penalty goal. Very little from Forest going forward, so I'm happy we're promoted. I don't think anyone else would want to see another season in the Championship, so very good to see us get promoted. Let me know in the comment section down below, who you think was player of the season, because I think there's a number of players that could easily get the role. Delap, obviously top goal scorer in the league, 27 goals maybe. Bird in the midfield, really, really good. Same with Jason Knight. Those two together, absolutely solid. I think Foster helped us defensively in the back end of the season. I think first half we were conceding quite a few. But when he came in, obviously with Roden as well, we just got that little bit better. Maybe should have given the captain's armband to Rooney, but it's still, you know, he's one of our own as well. And here we go, here's the trophy lift. It's nice to see the trophy actually here. A few times the trophy just isn't there and the players are just lifting nothing. Yeah, it's good to see us win the playoffs and get a nice trophy. We get the Brian Clough trophy retained as well. And yeah, it's really good that we did get promoted, because again, as I say, like, nobody wants to see another season in the Championship. So yeah, let me know in the comments any signings we should look at, because obviously now I'm not too sure how much money we get, but it'll be about 40 or 50 million. I thought I'd just let these play out while we just have a quick chat about the season. Yeah, fullbacks are probably, especially a left back. I think we need a left back, a young goalkeeper to replace Foster, and what else do we need? I want to say striker, but then, like, if we're going to go to a 4-3-3, we don't need as many strikers, so it's one of those where we'll see what's available and see what can improve the team, but I don't want to oversign. We have got a number of players leaving the club as well, but obviously I want to keep the squad nice and trim and get everyone playing as much as possible. So yeah, there we go, there's the playoff final wrapped up. As you can see, 10 shots for us, only 2 shots on target for Forest. And let's just do this post-match interview. So obviously we have got Carlson and Hector Ingram expiring. I don't know if I want Carlson just as a backup goalie. We can't do it anyway, but we have got Marshall still. The thing is with Carlson, you know, still relatively okay, but Forest have literally lost that final and then gone, we need to spend 8.4 million on Adam Armstrong, which is quite funny. I don't think he's worth that much. He's still a very good player, but I don't think it's worth that much to me. But it's very, very funny that Forest missing out on goal difference at the end of the season. And there we go, we have ticked off the within 3 seasons increase the club by 100%. So yeah, that's what promotion does. It literally just switches that on. So obviously Norwich and Watford both bouncing back up as well. And there we go, we have got players returning from loans. I don't know if I might be tempted just to extend Carson's contract just so we got the option, although I don't think I can. So let's end off this season here then. It's been a very good one. Obviously 93 points is a ridiculous amount, and getting promoted. A little bit odd that the board Have I been sacked? I don't think so. I didn't really read it. I was like, I got you promoted. Stop crying about all the objectives. But maybe that's something we could look at next season. I didn't really... I don't know. The objectives on FIFA are a little bit boring, in my opinion. It would be nice to have a different range. They're all the same. So yeah, hopefully you guys did enjoy Season 1 of the Derby Career Mode. Obviously, I'll just leave it here for the first episode of Season 2. And yeah, it's been a really fun first series. Hopefully you guys did enjoy it. Make sure you do leave some comments down below on any signings that we should make. Leave a like if you're enjoying the series, and see you soon. Bye.